There's a special feeling at St. Mary's. I don't know exactly how to explain it.
One of the things that I enjoy doing is sitting in the lobby and just watching people, watching our staff interacting with one another, watching visitors come in.
There's a calmness and a joy, and people seem to want to be here.
My first contact with St. Mary's was in 1964. At that point, St. Mary's was just a big hole in the ground with these big pipes sticking out of it.
Oh, I started in 1966 with 2 other classmates from the University of Virginia. I would say that St. Mary's was the ideal place for a new graduate.
Dr. Pisani had just joined me in practice. He was Catholic, and he says, we got to go to St. Mary's. So we came to St. Mary's.
St. Mary's was really the resource that gave us the opportunity to create a leading healthcare delivery system today.
Bishop Russell was the bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Richmond in those days. It was his idea to bring the sisters here. He knew them from his own personal experiences. So when the idea came up of having a Catholic hospital, he immediately decided we need to have the Bon Secours nuns from Baltimore.
It was scary. The first day I was pretty nervous about. We had 13 patients the first day, and you didn't know whether everything was going to work.
Hospital was full. The first week it was open and stayed full.
It was an exciting community experience, watching all of this and seeing all of it.
The best doctors joined the staff right here at St. Mary's and brought with them their patients. Their patients stuck to them. And that's how St. Mary's prospered right away.
We were a pace setter, we were a leader. We changed the face of the healthcare in Richmond.
In those days, a $6 million building was kind of unheard of.
A group of ladies started in 1962 to generate enthusiasm for the hospital. Their first meeting was at the John Marshall Hotel. 950 women showed up. And so they wanted to do something special for the hospital in terms of raising money. On the day of the sale, there were thousands of people lined up outside the mosque, and it ended up being a very successful sale. They got $10,000, which in today's money is $80,000.
The fact that these women got together, it was just the sheer bravery and moving forward with these people that they wanted a hospital that was going to be open to all. Once the hospital came along, they really had a lot of volunteers. Some did mail, some did pushing patients, some worked in the gift shop, some worked in the flower shop. There were many different areas that they really filled in and worked very hard at.
You know, you can go down the list, and Bon Secours Richmond, St. Mary's was in the forefront of figuring out what was next that was needed in healthcare and just being about it.
The first Catholic, first integrated, first run by women. It was just the right thing to do, that's all.
I think for the sisters to be able to have the strength to say, we're going to live our values. We are not going to succumb to the environment. In a place where segregation and racism were deeply entrenched, I think that means a lot to me.
When it ultimately became clear that this was as a result of the sisters at St. Mary's doing this, you have to say, well, they've shown something that hasn't been shown heretofore. And whether it's spunk, whether it's courage, whether it's just raw fortitude, I don't know, but whatever it is, it's good.
In 1824, 12 young women came together in Paris because they saw a need where there were people who were dying and had no one to care for them. Florence Nightingale had not yet begun her training school, and so there were really no trained nurses in the city to care for people. And they also wanted to convey to the people they cared for that there was a God who loved them, and that their way of showing that was to care for these people. I think what we're doing today is a tribute to them.
The Sisters of Bon Secours are so important to how St. Mary's is shaped today because of their values, which permeate the organization, their support for taking risks at a time when risks need to be taken, their love for the ministry of health care.
The nuns were very, very good at what they did, and they were very strict. They held a standard. It was a standard of care. You felt it when you walked through the door.
My first experience with the sisters was with when I first came, and I went to the record room, and Sister Mary Monica was there. She was tough. I said, I just came to sign some charts. And she said, they'll be over there, young man. And I went over and signed them, and then I laid them somewhere. And she said, just a minute. And I said, what's that? She said, do you leave everything laying around at your house? I told a little lie. I said, no, sister, I don't. She said, then don't do it here. And so that's how we met. We became great friends, and she was really, in many ways, the face of the hospital for a long time.
The sisters interacted early on with patients, were highly respected. I think that added a dimension that was not present anywhere else in the city of Richmond in healthcare delivery.
There were days when I left the convent on the 7th floor and went down to the operating room in the ground floor and never saw the light of day. But they were great days.
You could sense when the meetings took place that they really created the culture. And there were plenty of people who worked very hard, who took care of the business side, but they always respected the culture.
The thing that we do differently at Bon Secours and Bon Secours St. Mary's is the holistic care of the patient. Other organizations talk about it, but we do it.
The holistic approach is a very core to the Sisters of Bon Secours.
Everywhere we were invited to come, we usually started doing home nursing first.
Our first sisters, when they were in the homes with the patients, didn't just do nursing care. If the patients needed cooking, they did the meal. If the house needed cleaned up, they cleaned up. So their approach was whatever helped the patient to be well.
With a population that's aging, the more individualized care that we have that is very specific to the needs of that patient and that family, the better care that we're going to provide. Really looking into what that patient and what that family need and when they need it and how they need it and where they need it is really the future of healthcare.
Just in general for pediatrics, we've had so much growth in our subspecialty support from pediatric pulmonary to hematology, oncology. And as a result, we're seeing new technology and new policies and procedures.
They're challenging us to do new innovative things. It's so interesting that home care, which is how they were founded, is now making a resurgence, and many patients are receiving care at home that they used to receive in the hospital. All of those trends are based upon the values and the principles of the Sisters of Bon Secours.
What we stood for has endured and helped it to grow and be respected.
I think healthcare is changing, and we're beginning, and we need to focus more on the healthcare needs of our community.
St. Mary's is still a catalyst in the Richmond community. If you look at the work that St. Mary's is doing in outreach, Bon Secours and the Sisters of Bon Secours and St. Mary's Hospital continue to innovate and continue to reach out in the community in new ways.
I think it's such a progressive hospital for all these little things that we do.
It makes me feel really good. It really does, to be a part of something so much larger than what you are.
I am most proud of all of our coworkers here at St. Mary's. They have embraced our values and our mission, and they live it out in the work that they do every day. And the people that come from the community into St. Mary's, that's who they meet. They meet our staff. And their memories of St. Mary's and their memories of their care is what they receive from our colleagues.
When I think about the next 50 years for Bon Secours St. Mary's, what I do know for sure is that we're going to evaluate the needs and we will be serving those needs through this ministry.